Hello, bonjour, ça va, and how are we today? It is Saturday, April the 19th, 2025, here in southwestern Ontario, Canada, by the beautiful shores of Lake Huron. It is a holiday weekend here in Canada. It is Easter weekend, that's what we call it here. So things are quiet as people are taking time to be with their family or whatever else they do on a long weekend when they've got 4 days straight off of work and their normal routine. I've been asked a question and I've decided to follow spirit advice and come on and talk about it today. It's the second time this topic has come up in the last few days, so I take it that it's time to talk about it. I don't know if I've ever talked about this before. Maybe like little dribs and drabs here and there, but we're going to focus on the entire topic today. 2 parts to this. One about black magic or voodoo, all that kind of negative energy coming from hate, as well as naivety. That's the word, naivety. So not being very well experienced on this planet, in this world, in this atmosphere of thought, this school of thought here. Because as you know, we know already, this is a school. This is a school of learning experience, school of hard knocks, some people like to say. So many times over the past 20 years of doing energy work, healing, reading, meditation groups, workshops, teaching classes, etc., 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 I get asked, and it's mainly from religious people, I get asked about the channeling, the demonic interference. I know when I was in a number of the different fundamentalist churches and religions that I participated in up until I think it was my early 40s, and that's when I learned enough. I didn't have to be under the thumb, shall we say, of organized religion. There are demonic influences on your world and on your planet, just as there are angelic. Just because there are both doesn't mean you have to dabble with the lower energies. If you want to, you can. This is a planet where there are no holds barred. You can do pretty much what you wanted to. It's kind of like past tense. It's clearing all that old energy, lower experiences, demonic rule, all that kind of stuff. That's been, as I always hear it and I see corn, we're shucking the corn. It's pretty much gone now and done. We're working on it. It's not totally, completely done here in the third dimensional conscious awareness, but in the bigger perspective, okay, that's been cleaned up. If you so choose the lower energy light, you get to. If you came here to experience lower energy, darker, demonic, reptilian, whatever you want to call it, off-world energy that's not for our highest and best good. In other words, those beings who are here to dominate and control us because, they think they can. That is up to you. Everybody comes in, as we've said numerous times, everybody comes in with a different soul purpose plan. If your soul purpose plan is to engage in the darker light, the lower light, you get to have that experience. However, when it gets to the point when your thoughts are chained to that resonance, There is a higher light that comes in to free us from that thought wave. It is then also your choice whether to rise up and bring yourself out of it and clear yourself. And that is the conscious awareness movement that is now occurring on your planet. It will be done. Okay, that aspect of the higher light will be done in some shape, form, way, one way or another. It's going to get done. It is being done. It has been done. So we're clearing ourselves. And that's coming from our higher sun. Okay. So the beings from the higher light sun energy fields of light do not deplete anyone. I mean, all you have to do is step outside when you feel the sun shining. It fills you with light and energy. That doesn't deplete you. The darkness depletes you. I think every child knows that. Just have to step foot on this planet and you already know that. It's obvious. You feel it. It's instilled in you. But there are others who come from the shame-blame game, the victimhood and lying and pain. They come from that structure, that way of being, because they think, they feel that they have to take over others for them to feel good. Perhaps they do, perhaps they don't, but that is their thinking. That is their structure of thought. And the only way they're going to experience anything different is if they start to feel more worthy and more self-deserving. In other words, they step out of the victimhood programming and training. You cannot have both at the same time. You can't be feeling less than and playing the poor victim and being all-powerful and highlight at the same time. I mean, there are bits and pieces and parts of you that start to shift. So as you come out of the dark more, you come into the light more. And so there is this resonance of duality that when you carry both at a certain point in time for your transcendence. But mainly the hate structure comes from lack. It comes from fear. It comes from holding back or pulling back your energy. Because if these beings let their energy shine, they would be very well refined. But when they come from the demonic or lower mind, they're not having a really good time. They're not having a fun time. They don't like it here. They hate it here. And they project that hate onto others. And they think and feel that that's the way everybody else is too. If they do happen to see someone of angelic birth or DNA or background, and they are shining so much light, I mean, one, they're afraid of them, and two, they want to conquer them. Neither way works. But they always feel hurt by that because they do feel they're not good enough. They're not good enough for the higher light. They're not worthy enough, so they're going to stay down low and be more demonic or more challenging to others. Well, if I can't rise up into the higher light, I'll be the best at being bad. Mm-hmm. And then they feel very sad. Interesting thought structure, isn't it? So those who delve into the black magic, the voodoo, whatever you want to call it, they're doing actions coming from their darker spirit light, their darker energy field, because they want to command respect in others, something they don't have within themselves. If they project that they do, it's a false representation of everything that they do. Black magic holds a certain amount of tenacity in their lower dark light. So they can, it's kind of like they can hook onto, they can make inroads into, they can penetrate a certain amount, to a certain degree, let's put it that way. But they can't totally take over. Okay, they can't. One, it's not allowed by the higher light, and two, they don't have enough energy to do that. They just don't. I've recounted stories over the last few years about, certain times when I've had run-ins or experiences with beings of the lower light, and my team and I always win. The higher light team, like I said to one, had taken over my mother's body near the end of her days. So you don't have the power. We're stronger than you. The light is stronger than you. Poof, gone, just like that. Okay? Because you know what we can do to you. So when you come from your own power, you have to know you've got your higher backing, of course, because it's not just your physical vessel. You need a whole team of light backing you up and supporting you to run that energy through you to be able to, handle their darker energy field and, blow them up, basically. Poof, gone. They're gone. They can't sustain that quantity of light. So there is no fear or fright. So when we come from our higher light, we're not coming from fear, we're coming from love. And love surmounts everything. Those people who do voodoo, black arts, black wishes for you, basically, is what they're doing. They're sending out dark intentions. They want to hurt you, they want to restrict you, they want to bind you, they want to control you. We want you to love us. Love spells, like seriously. What are you thinking? It's so sad to see this. I personally knew nothing about voodoo until I worked with a client. One client in particular had a lot going on with voodoo in his life. It's from a different continent, different culture. I had no clue. But I knew when I was working with him, on him, running energy through him, I picked it up. There's no mistaking that energy. And we got rid of it. Got an eyelash falling in my eye. That happens all the time. It's very annoying. That's why I'm blinking, trying to get rid of it. So whatever, devil worship stuff, whatever you're into or doing, it's not going to last. Okay? It's part of the past. You can only go so far. You can only take it so far. And then poof, the light blows it up. Get real. All right? Get real. You can change your ways. You can come from your higher light. You don't have to be in that darker light. You don't have to proposition the lower light. There's a lot of naivete, as we heard earlier, around this subject. Because again, we get brainwashed, we get told all this stuff that isn't true. There may be little bits and pieces of truth in there, but basically it's a lie. And it's to scare you, to control you. If you feel scared, you're being controlled. You don't have to feel scared. You can ask the question, what is happening here? Spirit, show me the truth. What is happening here? Open up my third eye so I can see it for myself. What's going on here? What's really happening here? There are so many beings, people on this world, on this planet, who just, they're newer souls. They don't know what's going on here. What a crazy place this is. How do I handle this energy? What do I do with this? It's like a toddler. You take a toddler and put them in the driving seat of a car or a truck. And that little one's going to be, oh, there's a big round thing. What is this? Oh, it turns the truck. How do you turn this thing on? How do you turn it off? They don't know. They play with it. They play with the good, bad, and the ugly until they figure it out. But we older souls who've been here tons of times, we get it. We understand. And then we have more energy at our command. So it's opening up the third eye to understand what's going on. It's connecting with your higher team of light. There's an earth team, there's a spirit light team, there's your angelic team. I mean, we've talked about this so often. And they will help guide you and teach you one from the other in this duality system. But we need to know both. I have met people, and I'm sure you have too. They're very naive. They're wonderful to be around. They're kind of, we used to call it like a Pollyanna approach. Or they live looking through rose-colored glasses. They only see the good in people and the good in the world, without acknowledging the darker parts. You can't do that anymore. Any more than the dark can just be, content, if you can use that word at all, with their being in their darker lies. All right? You have to see both to be balanced. It's like we balance the right and left hand side of the brain. We have to be balanced. We have to see both. Both exist in duality on your world and on your planet for a reason. We came here to experience both. And then we can make a choice. So those of us who are naive still about these lower frequencies of darker light, you have to wake up too. You have to see it as well. Oh, there are people who like to live in their own little hell, where they're not feeling very well. Okay, I'm not going to judge that, because that was their choice when they came in. Whether they realize that or not, they may not have enough memory code back to remember that that's what they decided and that's what they chose. And then there are those who are just so naive that they fall into the trap with the darker ones. And then they come from lack. I've seen that. That's so, to me, that's sad when I see people who've been hoodwinked. But again, no judgment, because maybe that is part of their soul purpose plan. And how else are they going to learn unless they go through it themselves? So all of us are here to be pre-engineered in the higher light. However our soul path purpose leads us, that is what we're going to do. Whether we like it or not, here in 3D, or whether we know it or not, or realize it or not. But as your memory codes snap on, as you come into the higher frequencies of light, of thought, and the planet is awakened by the sun, by the sunlight energy force and source codes, we start to be able to be more mature. We become masters of ourselves. We understand both. And you need to understand both, especially at this time period in your life purpose plan. So those who are ready to ascend to other higher lines of time will do so. And those who aren't quite ready yet, they're going to be offset. So they will find other timelines to jump onto. Everybody's going to get clear at some point. And yes, I am hearing there will be those who just won't want a journey at all. Their journey will stop. They will be actually prohibited because they've gone too far in the dark side. They've done too much damage to their heart. They basically have torn it apart because they couldn't come from their heart. In other words, they couldn't come from love. So no judgment. Feel the fear and let it go. What's the saying? You feel the fear and do it anyway, or something along those lines. Because we can't be confined by the lower energies of the lower thought waves. If you happen to have an experience with those who are doing the black magic, dark arts, voodoo stuff, whatever, to try to lower others, just realize you've got to come from very high light. You've got to have a very high team of light to work that energy out. So, if you're a newbie, don't try this on your own. This is for very experienced beings here only. Okay. What's that saying? Jesus said, it was in the Bible, about I of myself can do nothing, but is it my Father works through me? It's kind of sort of like that. Father being source, God, code energy. Yeah. You have to have a certain amount of energy quotient, frequency within yourself, as well as uniting with all of your higher teams of light. It takes a lot. And then you have to know that you can do this. It can't just be an egotistical thing here. It's like you know your power and you know what you can do. There's a difference than coming from straight ego. Can't be puffed up. There's a humility that has to be there, a conscious awareness that you know within yourself who you are, why you are here, what you're doing, what your soul purpose mission is, and then how to step forward to help others. Because every time you create a scenario around you in your reality of helping others, that goes forward and helps others create their own circle of truth within them. And so on and so on and so on. The pebble in the pond, the rings go out. Every person, each person whom you help and interact with and uplift, they go forward and they do the same for another, and then another, and then another, and then another. I was always advised from the beginning of doing this work that for me it would be quality and not quantity. And that's the way it's been for 20 years. Some of us are ahead of our time. So sometimes it's just a little bit too much for others. For others who are not on their divine line of time. Anyway. I'm feeling a lot of emotion right now. It has still been very emotional in this whole month, it seems. Feeling the energy of the collective, kind of resting and digesting their emotional tissue out. Hasn't been a fun ride. We've got a lot more to clear. We're not done yet, but we're getting there. We're doing really good. A lot better than we did before. So, and that's it. Baby steps. We're working. And I'm hearing that it's like the baby's coming down the birth canal just a little bit more. All right. I'm not hearing anything else. Those are our messages for today. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. If you do wish to work with us, you can go to the website www.healingourenergy.ca and book your appointment there. So blessings, take care of yourselves and others, and we shall meet again. Bye for now.